All right, good luck to the Monsters. Hopefully they can bounce back tomorrow night. Okay, let's get to the Browns schedule, fellas. This is Jason Lloyd's favorite time of the year, playing the schedule game.
We're gonna play the game in a little bit.
Yeah, first let's look at it.
Let's look at the
let's
schedule.
Bring it up.
Read it through us.
Okay, yeah. Let's bring it up on the screen here.
Jason's getting his glasses ready to really analyze every game.
All right, Browns open the season with back-to-back road games. I wonder if they'll spend a week in Florida.
You know,
that time of year, though, it's nice here.
Gas prices the way they are.
Yeah,
you might be better off down there. Yeah.
They'll play at Jacksonville week 1, then at Tampa. So Baker Mayfield plays the Bengals in week 1 and the Browns in week 2. Then back-to-back home games. They play Carolina and then the Steelers on Thursday Night Football. They close out the first third of the season at the Jets in New York. Don't they play out the Giants too?
Yes.
You could have had back-to-back, in theory, could have had back-to-back weeks in Florida and back-to-back weeks in New York. All right, second 5 games. Week 6, a home game with the Ravens. Then they go to Tennessee in week 7. Steelers at home in week 8. Down in New Orleans in week 9, which I think is the furthest they travel.
That is correct.
Week 10, they host Houston. Week 11 is their late bye for the Browns this year. I don't know. I think you like that. What do you,
Yeah, I think at that point of the year, you need a bye.
I don't like, the Bengals have a week 6 bye. I wouldn't like that. I think that's too early. I like a week 9 to 11 bye. I think that's a good week to have it. Okay, then 3 straight home games after the bye. Vegas, Cincinnati, Atlanta. Then they go to the Giants, week 15. Baltimore, week 16. The Colts at home in week 17. And they wrap up in Cincinnati with the Bengals. Every game on their schedule, except for the Thursday night against the Steelers early, is a 1 p.m. game. The only exception, besides the Steelers, is the last game of the season, Bengals-Browns, is to be determined. We'll see. But at this point, I don't think there's any night games the last week of the season anyway. It's certainly not a Monday night.
No.
There might be a Sunday night.
I think there is a Sunday
night. There is a Sunday night.
Yeah.
There's not a Thursday, I don't think, that last week. I can't remember, but... So probably the Browns have a day game.
Yes.
And good chance it's a 1 o'clock game. So right now the Browns have no 4 o'clock games. I wonder if that's ever happened in a season.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
Not a single 4 o'clock game?
Well, I guess any game on the West Coast would
it's going to be 4 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine.
It's probably happened, but not often.
No.
Not often. But that's the case. So if you like 1 o'clock football games, well, you're going to get a ton of them.
Yeah.
And the only night game is on Thursday night. So what's Chris' first impression of the Browns schedule?
I have 2 first impressions. One, it clearly shows what the league thinks the Browns are going to be this year.
That's true.
1 o'clock games. It's not a lot of world beaters on that schedule outside of the AFC North. And then my other takeaway is just that I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of winnable games on that schedule. Doesn't mean the Browns are going to win them.
Yeah.
But some improvement, like we think maybe they have improved, it might not be as bad as we thought going in. That's all I guess.
Now, I don't disagree. I will also say that a lot of those games that you look at as winnable games, those teams are looking at them as winnable games for that team.
And at this point in the season, who knows what any of these teams are going to be. But
that's true.
Just base value on paper, there's some games there that the Browns very well could win.
Now, Chris, real quick on that before Jason goes. FanDuel put out preseason lines for all of these games. And the Browns are favored in 2 of their 17 games. So I know you said there's a lot of winnable ones on the schedule. Vegas is looking at it in a very different light.
That's interesting. I know TA said yesterday he thought they'd be underdog in 16 games. He thought the Raiders would be the only one that they were favored. You don't have the Bengals-Browns game on the bottom. He just didn't fit?
No, it's minus 7.5.
Yeah,
it's there.
7.5.
Very, very bottom. It just cut off a little bit.
Oh, I couldn't see it on this TV screen.
Yeah, minus 7.5.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, so are they double-digit dogs in any games?
No. Looks like 9.5 is
the Ravens, 9.5. Well, to just back up what Chris said, I mean, the game against the Colts, they're only a 1.5-point dog. There's a lot of low spreads there. Even games where they're underdog, Carolina, Jets, Indy, they're only a 1.5-point dog, which is essentially a toss-up. And then Tennessee, man, wow.
Pittsburgh at home.
They think the Browns really stink because they're an underdog to the Titans. I know the game's in Tennessee, but it's supposed to be 3 points for home field, which means the Browns it's basically a pick 'em on a neutral field with the Titans. I think the Browns are bad, but I don't think they're as bad as the Titans. But
I don't know.
Our friends, I think Tyvis picked them to win 11. Earl picked them to win 10.
Oh, he said 11?
I don't know what he said.
No, I don't think he said
maybe
11.
9.
I think they're
Hayden
all.
Grove picked them to win 9.
I think they're all in that 8 to 10 category.
yeah,
Mary Kay
which
said
is
it
in
on
other
our
words,
show.
I'm a biased Browns fan.
Well,
category.
no, I mean people can have their opinion. People are going to look
Of
at
course, people can have their opinion,
but they're going to look at their strength of schedule and whatever else.
Do you think, Jason or Chris, that there is any non-Browns fan media member picking the Browns to have a winning record in America?
I just saw that guy on CBS pick him to win 10.
Who? CBS.
Yeah, I forget his name. I'll find it.
You sure it's not a Cleveland guy? Not Nick Shook, is it?
No. It's a guy who he loves Shador.
That would be a bias.
Yeah, right.
I forget his. I'll find it. But I just
The
saw
truth is, here's the truth about the Browns. All jokes aside about busting people's chops about picking the Browns. If you are a Shador believer and you think with better talent around him that he could play well, then it's not unreasonable to think the Browns could win 8, 9
And that's
games.
sort of what I'm saying.
That is not
Yeah.
unreasonable if you
Yeah.
believe that. If you don't think Shador is very good, then it's not realistic
Right.
because, whatever.
And that's why I said, like, people can have their opinion. People want to say the Browns going to win 8, 9, 10. Okay, I hope you're right. That'd be great. It'd be great for business.
It'd be a lot
if you're
more
right.
fun than another 4 or 5 win
Yes,
season.
I'm not believing in that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how it's going to go, but who knows?
Yeah. How do you feel, Chris, right now?
I think it boils down to what you guys said. It boils down to the quarterback position. Is the offensive line better? Yeah, we think so right now on
Right.
paper. We got to see it out, but I think the offensive line is better. The defense has to continue to be good, which, I mean, no Jim Schwartz, but the players are still there. Myles Garrett's still there. And it comes down to that quarterback position. If they get okay to good quarterback play, this is not an awful team.
I agree.
They're not Super Bowl champs, but they're
Right.
not an awful team. They could win 8 to 10 games. But as we've learned over the years, since 1999, asking for just decent quarterback play is a big ask here.
It is, because they haven't done it very often.
If Shador is just okay, or Deshaun's just okay, or Dylan, I'll throw him in there too. If he's just okay, they might win 8 to 10 games because this schedule's not that tough.
If they get average quarterback play, they will be probably an average or slightly better team.
Right.
Now, I think the defense, it wouldn't surprise me if it went back a little bit. Losing Jim Schwartz is not a nothing.
Correct.
How big a deal is it? Time will tell, but it's not a nothing.
Correct.
It's going to depend on Mike Rutenberg. Is he?
Yeah,
if
right.
he's that good,
Right.
then.
But what
Jim
are the
Schwartz
odds
loss
he's
isn't
as good
bad.
as Jim Schwartz as a first-year DC? Not likely.
Probably not great.
But you're right. There is a lot of talent there. So, based on the talent, they shouldn't fall off a cliff. But I can't think of it quite as highly without Jim Schwartz, and time will tell on that. But to your point, also, the offense should be better. But how much better is going to be determined by the quarterback.
Yeah, and Emory Hunt is the guy I was trying to think of.
Oh, Emory Hunt. He's a huge Shador guy. But he's not a Browns fan.
Right.
And he's not a Cleveland guy.
Right.
So, okay.
And he's picked him to win 10.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Okay.
And I also look at it like they won 5 last year, but, I mean, come on. The Bengals game, come on. The Packers game.
Yeah, right.
And there's others that you could say they should have won that they lost. But this easily
Well, those
could
last
be,
2 wins, this defense won those games.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this easily could have been a 3-win team. And you could make a case that they should have won 7 last year if everything went their way and broke their way.
Right.
So I think probably 4 or 5 is probably pretty accurate for what they were. And I think they're in that range again this year.
All right. All right, we're going to play the schedule game. I know you hate it, but you're going to have to do it, Jason. That's just part of the deal.